Let me just go to this. Let me get your opinion on this. Here's Dick Durbin from my home state, Illinois, and he gave this speech. So everybody's trying to figure out why. I think this is another reason why they hate Trump. They want to get rid of Trump because he wanted to seal the border and have an orderly immigration process, which they do not want, right? So the billionaire class does not want this for many reasons. Here's one of the big ones. Like you said, they cannot meet their recruiting goals. And here's Dick Durbin's solution to the military not being able to meet their recruiting goals.
The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country.
So I don't know if people realize that's the reason why. That's one of the big reasons why the border is open. And by the way, that's how Rome ended. When you fill your military with people who aren't loyal to your country, and that's the big plan. That's the billionaire plan right now. So what do you say to that kind of thinking? And do you think that am I onto something with why the border is being left open?
Well, I think that the border is left over. That's probably part of it. I think it's more of let's move these people into areas where we want to have more electoral votes, more congressional seats, because you can't count them you can't ask them when you're doing the census. So all these illegal aliens actually get counted in the census when they're actually not citizens. And so if they position them properly according to their power base, then they ought to be able to enhance that power base, more congressional districts, more electoral votes. I think that it's a slippery slope to be taking people who are recent illegal immigrants and inviting them to serve in the military. It's always been the case, at least when I served, that if someone were the child, a child of an immigrant born in the United States, that they could then they've gone to U.S. schools, they've been through the system, they could then serve and get their citizenship that way. And I was fine with that, quite frankly, because of the cultural aspects as a young child, as a teenager, and then all of a sudden, they're in the military if they want to be, and they were raised in America. These people aren't raised in America. They don't share our values. And so desperation, this is kind of what I was saying earlier, the desperation to quote unquote fill the ranks. They need to take a hard look at why the ranks aren't being filled. And it's because of this progressive left ideology being forced down the throats. Where are a good number of our recruits coming from? From the working class, the red states. Moms and dads vote with their feet and with their children. And I ran a major school system, the 15th largest in the country in Wake County, North Carolina. Parents will move their kid out of a school if the school's not doing well for their kid, or into a school if they think it's a good school. And it's the same thing with the military. Parents will encourage their children to go in the military if they think it's a good thing, and they'll make sure that they don't, to the extent they can, if they think it's a bad thing. And it's not any more complicated than that on the recruiting side, but we shouldn't try to cover that up with people from Venezuela or wherever they're, El Salvador, or wherever they're coming from. They may be perfectly fine people. They could be axe murderers. I don't know. They could be future doctors. But the bottom line is we don't know. They weren't raised. They aren't a citizen. They weren't brought up within our country. And so the progressive left is tearing at every thread of the fabric of this nation because they want to fundamentally change it. They hate this country. They think it's a terrible country. And and they want to change it into something. They're not sure what, but they're sure that they don't like what it is now, even though, they're all seem to be doing okay if they serve in the Senate or Congress.
Hey, come see us do a live stand-up show. We're going to be in Stockholm, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, London, Oslo, Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Oakmont, Pennsylvania, El Paso, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Edmonton, Alberta, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Denver, Colorado. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets.